Hi everyone, it's Chris here from Defy the Ocean. Hope you're doing very, very well indeed. It's Friday right now and Gojira have done a great thing. They've released another track for us from their upcoming album. So it's the second single, the first one being Born for One Thing. You will find the reaction to that I did at the end of this video. I'll pop it at the end. And you'll know if you watch that I had some mixed feelings about it. I enjoyed it overall. But I felt that they weren't executing at their highest ability, and I also felt that perhaps they were leaning into some what I'm now coming to understand as Gojira tropes, right? So I think it was towards the end of the track, an excessive use of natural harmonics in the riff, a lot of string scraping, all that stuff. Yes, that's part of the Gojira sound, and I do expect to hear it, but I also wanted to see a little development from them, and I didn't really feel that. I felt that it was more like a hybrid of things that they'd done before rather than them pushing themselves in a new direction. I'm hoping that with their new single, Amazonia, which is out today, that I will like what they've got to offer a bit more. So let's get on with the show. Let's listen to Amazonia from Gojira. I will stop it as and when I think is appropriate, and give my thoughts, and then sum up at the end. If you like to watch me listen to this again, I'll be live tonight. So that's Friday, the 26th of March, and on Twitch with New Music Friday. So join me there if you want to chat or berate me for this reaction. Let's go. I'm going to stop here before they break into whatever comes next. What we're hearing is a very, very simple guitar riff with actually not a huge amount of distortion on that guitar riff either. Quite one note. But interweaved within that is some indigenous instrumentation. It's not the first time that Gojira have actually incorporated in some way elements of indigenous or ethnic instruments in order to kind of bring the listener kind of back to the earth, right? Which is very much in keeping with their ethos around the environment and ecology. So yeah, it's really interesting to hear that. I'm guessing that maybe the instruments are native to Brazil, because the title of the track is Amazonia, and we're seeing Amazonian tribes, men and women, intercut in the video. So yeah, a nice interweaving of those indigenous sounds, and I don't think we've heard it as interwoven before. I seem to remember a flute. I can't remember if it was it on the Link or Terra Incognita. I can't quite remember. I think it was the Link. But yeah, let's carry on. I'm going to stop it once again. This is interesting. I think, first of all, the thing that caught me off guard was the guitar tone. It's especially as they came into the verse, I think the guitar tone was actually not quite as similar to their tones that I've heard before. It seemed a bit less meaty, but still quite aggressive. quite enjoyed that this almost feels like a slightly different sound, like a different vibe because of that. So that was quite nice. There was also some really nice interwoven backing vocals that were kind of giving some melodic drive to the proceedings. And then they broke out into this bridge riff, which is just like some straight chords. Again, not something that I've necessarily heard them deliver on in quite the same way before. So far, I'm feeling actually like I'm being given something new from Gojira in some ways. I'm keen to see where it goes. Second verse. Simple bridge riff, but I like it. Tension. Release. Okay. So they end on the chord that gives some tension, and then they go into this section, increasing the tension even further. A lot of drone elements because of the indigenous like instrumentation. And those backing vocals still throughout. This feels like a chorus, maybe. Really nice use of the pitch shift leads, which they have employed before, but it just seemed to have a different flavor to me today on that section. Overall, they have continued to surprise me throughout this track. And I'm feeling like if I'd heard this not as a reaction video, but if I'd listened to it just on my own, in my own time, I'd be really quite pleasantly surprised. There seems to be, I mean, it's not wildly different, but there is a slightly different palette here that they're using to paint with, right? And it comes across that like the sonic palette is just slightly shifted, and I'm enjoying that. And it seems like they're enjoying playing within that shifted palette. They're not kind of resorting to some of the tropes that they have before, but they're kind of using stuff from their toolkit and rearranging it and using it in different ways. The other thing I've noticed, there's a lot of vocals on this. Like, I'm just wondering from a live perspective, like how Joe is, going to handle this, if at all, if maybe there's going to be backing vocals and backing tracks or something like that. But discussion for another day. Let's carry on. But I think this is actually the chorus. I thought this was the bridge riff. So I expect them to take this tension, and now again they're going into this kind of indigenous vibe section. Okay, I think we've reached the end of the song. Okay. Oh, something more? No. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I remember giving Being Born for One Thing something like a strong 6 out of 10 for me. And this, I would definitely lean towards a strong 7. The main reason for that is what I previously mentioned, which was the kind of the different sonic palette that was being given to me. It showed some progression to me in their songwriting and in just what they're delivering to my lug holes, right? However, I did feel that there was a lack of a single exceptional strong section in the song. Don't get me wrong, those indigenous sections that came after the chorus both times, those kind of down vibe with the droning and don't know what the name of the instruments are, but the twangy instruments. They were a real treat, actually, a nice bit of sonic relief. But I really felt that there needed to be something more hooky, something stronger, a riff in there that really took you to a climax, to a peak. That's why I thought. So the way that the chorus was arranged, right, was like you had the chords dun 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 dun. So they kind of resolve the first time. Then you've got the open section where the chorus hook line is sung, and then you've got a repeat of the chorus chords, but they end on they don't resolve at the end. They end on an unresolved chord, and then it's twice for that. And after they end on the unresolved chord the second time, you go into the indigenous section, is what I'm calling it, right? I really felt that after the last repeat of that indigenous section, they could have gone back into the chorus for a third time, taken that unresolved chord in the second repetition, and then gone on to produce a really awesome, heavy, resolving outro that just kind of took you to a peak. But at the same time, I'm thinking, is this song more... Because often their songs around environmentalism are angry, and that certainly has a bit of vibe of this, but because of those down vibe sections in this, I was almost getting a sense of lamentation, just sorrow. There was some sorrow in it. And, if we do think about the subject of the Amazon and how much of it is being destroyed, there's definitely room for sorrow there. Overall, I don't know if I've 100% made my mind up on this track. I think it's completely feasible that I would listen to it again and think it was a masterpiece. Alternatively, it may just reinforce my current opinion on it. I don't think I would drop below a 7. I think I'm suitably happy with the direction that Gojira have taken in this particular song. And it does make me a bit more hopeful for the album overall, because we've seen Another World and Born for One Thing, which both were much more strictly in Gojira's wheelhouse and kind of used the same tools that we know Gojira used, but didn't rearrange them or reconfigure them in any way, unlike this track, which seemed to do that for me. So, so that's my opinion. A strong 7 for this, and I'm looking forward to reacting to more. If you are around tonight, that's Friday the 26th, I will be going live from 6:30 p.m. GMT on twitch.tv/DefyTheo. The link is at the top of the description below. And we'll be listening to this again with the community, and we will be, sharing our opinions on it. So hope to see you then. If not, catch you in another reaction, and take care.